Be who you want to be, do what you want to do, wherever you want, with who you want, and have enough money to come in to pay for the experiences you truly need in life and be always free.
I'm Lisa Hugo, and I am obsessed with helping other people find their voices so they can go out and take on the world, be seen as an authority, an expert, and grow their business by sharing that knowledge and expertise with others. Now, I studied performing arts, and I spent 20 years of my career traveling the world as a professional singer-songwriter. I teach you the secrets to speak up and be heard, overcome your fears, and then use these skills to build a business and a life that you love and that could change both your own life and the lives of others. This is your one-stop shop for all things that are going to help you to build a life on your terms. This is Impact Through Voice. Hey there, and welcome back to the Impact Through Voice podcast. I'm your host, Lisa Hugo, and I'm back in the studio today, and I'm joined by Jason Graystone. Jason is a trading expert, and he's using his voice across multiple platforms to make a difference in other people's lives by teaching them the importance of financial freedom. So I'm going to let him explain that in more detail, but I'm very excited about this conversation. I'm sure you're going to get immense value. So welcome to the show, Jason.
Oh, thanks for having me. Pleasure to be here.
Fantastic. You've come in from the UK?
From the UK, yeah.
How are you finding it in Dubai?
Hot.
It's an understatement.
We don't have this in the UK.
It's June at the time of recording this, and it is very hot.
It's like an oven.
Yeah.
Gas Mark 5.
Jason, tell us a bit about your backstory.
So I'm an investor. When I was younger, I guess it started from my how I got into this whole world was just really for a striving for security. That was it, really. Some stability and security in my life. When I grew up on an estate with my mum. Dad had left, typical kind of story. And my earliest memories were kind of no money, no stability, no father. Those are the kind of the earliest memories that I had. And I just then had this big lack of security in my life. So I suppose that subconsciously drove me to be the opposite of that. They say that your voids as a child become your biggest, highest values, right?
Yeah.
So I'll just talk about kind of two coincidental moments that kind of shifted how I went into the world from my teenage years. And that was on this estate that I grew up on. Every Friday, they used to everyone used to congregate at the foot of the steps of our block of flats and sit there and talk and rant about the week and moan about the week. And I was like a nosy little 13-year-old kid. I used to sit with the adults and earwig and I remember they always used to moan about money and oh, my boss is rich, he's horrible, and all this kind of stuff. And I don't remember I didn't profess to understand what it was all about, but I just remember it was weird because this guy called Roy used to come down at 7:30, collect everyone's money and go and do a syndicate lottery. And for the next 10 minutes, they would be talking about how amazing their life would be if they had the money. Uh-huh. And I just remember thinking, this is weird.
Yeah.
They've just been saying money's evil, and now they're like, money's amazing. And I just remember thinking it was weird. So there was that. And then that year, coincidentally, coming up to my 14th birthday, I really wanted this BMX bike. And I was putting hints all around my flat for my mum and my stepdad to get me this bike. And they were like, we can't afford the bike, but we'll give you half if you can raise half somehow. And I was like, yeah, sure. So I went and washed cars around the green. And on the first day, I washed one car and I got £5 plus £2 tip. And I was telling my mate that night, that I'm going to have this in no time. And he offered to help. And I was like, well, I don't really want to give you my money because
Exactly.
I want the bike, right? But my stepdad came in my room and he said, I'm going to Safeway, which was the local supermarket. Do you want anything? And something just made me give him everything I'd earned and get another bucket and sponge, right? So the next day we did 4 cars, me and my friend. And then within 4 weeks I had 4 friends and I wasn't washing the cars. I was just knocking on the doors. So
entrepreneurial.
It was like this, like I discovered fire. It was like this, I remember thinking, this is why people are moaning about money. They must not be using it right, because if you use it properly, and you delegate or you invest it correctly. I didn't know the terms investing. I didn't know delegation, but subconsciously I was doing these things to free up my time to do more of what I enjoy and less of what I don't enjoy. And I was getting less money, but I was still getting what I wanted eventually. And it was this it was this big epiphany moment. And it was a real, I remember taking that into work from that point. And from then on, it was just like, right, how do I do this as much as possible, basically? And then I ended up going into investing, and I've done every type of investing from index funds, stock market, ETFs, real estate, investment trust, property, into trading. I started going into online poker, high speculation.
Didn't even know that's
stuff.
A thing. Well, I'm sure it is, but
it was tough. Options trading, forex trading. So I'd done a lot, and then by the age of 29, I was in a position where I'd replaced my active income, my workforce income, with my skills and leveraged income streams through investing and trading.
Well, how did you get into trading? What was the first thing that got you into trading?
That was just the final cherry on the cake, really. A lot of people go into trading thinking that's the first thing that's going to get them to where they want to go. It's actually the last thing I did, because when I left school, I had this idea that I was going to become financially independent. And I kept talking about it. And then when I was 22, found out I was going to have my son. And I was not ready for kids at 22 years old. And that kind of put a rocket up my arse. Right? And it was like, right, now I've got to actually do something. So I was already saving. I was already very smart with money, as you can imagine. I was like almost hoarding money from straight out of the workforce, because I didn't want to have a life of scarcity and lack of security. It's always been a big driver of mine. So I started to invest my money, and then it was like, right, I need to ramp this up. So that's when I started looking at how I could reduce the time down it would take me to replace my income via investments. So that's when I started ramping up my savings, looking at higher degrees of risk in my investments, becoming an expert in a field of investment, and really just generating higher returns through higher risk and higher leverage, but making sure that my skill level could keep up with it and my mindset could keep up with the growth of the money. And then to the point where I had started my own business to increase my income. That became very stressful, because the way that I created the business was to pay me as much money as possible so I could become financially independent.
What kind of business?
It was an electrical engineering company.
Right, okay. So something completely
I knew
different.
It was a ship that was sinking, and it was like, right, this is stressful. I need to get out of this now. So that it was that point, I needed probably another 2 or 3% yield to replace my income completely. And that's when I looked at options trading and poker, and then I blew around 40 grand trading, and then I became good after about 3 years.
Did you learn it? Did you work with somebody to learn it, get educated, or did you just experiment?
Yeah, a lot of experimentation, a couple of scams, a couple of mentors, and a really great community that I found in the end that was just real, so it was refreshing. But a lot of it was just what didn't work. It was paying for lessons, basically, to the market, until eventually I was like, well, that hurts too much to do that again, so let's not do that. It's like touching a candle. Don't do that twice. One
of your comments that sticks out to me that you have said is, if you didn't have to work, what would you do? If money wasn't an issue, if you reframe it the way that you said it, what would you do? And I find that's a really great thought-provoking comment.
So, what would your business look like if you didn't need money? What would your products look like? What would your team look like? How would you talk to your team? Who would you put up with? Who would you just ditch? What products would you create? That's a really powerful question. And the reason I talk about that a lot is because a lot of people think that they want to be rich, but they actually just want to be free. They want to be free, and free means doing what you enjoy, being rewarded for that, and being able to pay for the experiences that you want in life. But a lot of the experiences that people think they want is because they're looking up to someone else and what they want.
True.
And the whole time you're chasing what someone else wants, you'll never be free, because you're a slave to that goal. So I've got this idea that true freedom is having no goals. It's just having a life where you enjoy each day, right? And I got to that point in my late 20s where that was pretty much it. And I was like, right, okay, what do I do now? So I started this whole online thing from a place of, I don't need money, so let's put out the right information. I'm not doing it for money. There's no incentive to get people drawn in to what I'm saying. In fact, let's just do it for free.
Just give everything for
Give
free.
everything away, right?
Which is what your motto is, always free.
So this is what I started doing. I started just sharing information. And that's very much been my approach from the beginning of this whole journey. It's just radical transparency over the realities of everything I've learnt, and sharing as much information as possible so there's no stone left unturned. And the question I ask myself before I share stuff is like, how can I only say this once? Like, how can they not need me after I've delivered this piece of content or written this newsletter, or how can I get no questions?
Okay. What's the motivation though behind it? So is it purely to give back, to educate as many people as possible? Is it to build your own personal brand? Because that's got to be part of it as well. You're building your name in the industry.
Yeah, so there's two things. One, when I was in a position for about 18 months of just I was losing fulfillment. I was just at home trading. Like I had no friends. They were at work. My wife's getting out the house, otherwise we were in each other's way all the time, and the kids are at school, and I was like, what am I going to do? I feel like you feel like clicking some buttons on a screen and not helping anyone. You start to lose your sense of fulfillment. You lose purpose. It's like, well, I need to be up to something, right? So
I'm the same.
There was that, right? So there was that. So I wanted to start talking to people, building a community and having a chat every morning. So I started sharing that way. And then the other thing is, one of my highest values is freedom and security. So I want to build wealth, right? I'm never going to say no to more income streams. Right. It's just that the income streams, when you come from a place of true care and giving and service, the money is a genuine byproduct of that. And there was a guy, do you know Stuart Wilde?
No, I don't.
There's a guy in the 80s. He used to do. He died about 5 or 6 years ago, but he was an amazing guy, and he did this seminar called Master of Money. And the first thing he says when he comes out, it's like this 80s video on YouTube. You've got to watch it. It's amazing.
You shared it once at one of the presentations I saw you speak at. Yeah.
And he comes out and he says, "I'm going to talk about esoteric income, right? And the way I recommend that you generate income." And he said, "It's not through hustling and clawing and scratching and competing and beating your head against the wall, but instead you feel it all coming to you naturally as an outpouring of love and creativity that you put out in the world. And when you do that, you get these people who will show up. They'll crawl in through the doors and lower themselves in through the ceiling, and they'll find you. And once they find you, you just have to have an organized system to build them, right?" And it was like, it really resonated with me. And I thought, that's what I'll do. I'll trust this process. I've got no incentive, other than to just share everything I've learned. And I started doing that, and it was just magic. People start sending you heartfelt emails and saying, "Can I get closer? Do you offer this? Can I work with you? Do you have anything else?" And I'm like, no, I didn't at the time.
Yeah.
So all I did is I started sitting there writing a newsletter. Every Sunday I'd sit there and write 5,000 word newsletters. I did that for 76 Sundays until my brain was empty. Like there's no other, literally
at some point you've got to think, okay, what else have I got to share? What is there? Yeah, content creation. I'm brain dead now.
So those newsletters, I stopped. I didn't want to start talking about stuff that I don't know about. I think a lot of creators do that. They feel like they've got to say something new or profound or they've already heard that kind of thing. There's a lot to be said for repeating yourself over and over again. So I emptied that brain dump out into 76 newsletters, and then someone wrote to me and said, "I'm dyslexic. Is there an audible version of this newsletter?" I was just like, well, I'll just read that. This will be my podcast. Yeah. So I just started reading it, and then it became a podcast. And the light bulb moment that the value was kind of spreading, or I had actually something valuable to share, because I didn't think I did. I was just empty. In a way, it was therapeutic for me to just empty my brain instead of keeping it in my brain. But I emptied it out, and that podcast went to number 1 in 3 categories within 24 hours of it going live.
That's incredible.
And there was all of these amazing testimonials, and at the time, I mean, for me, it was unheard of. I wasn't expecting it to go to number 1, but it did, and I just remember all these reviews and heartfelt, like, you know, this. I felt like you was talking to me. I felt like you said this to me, you know, and it was amazing feeling. And that was like the fulfillment. I was like, wow, this is great. I need to push this.
So I want to come back to this, the podcast, at least the strategy behind it. But that's it's wonderful to hear that story, that where that all came from, and it's all coming from a place of love. And I think that's really important to keep in focus when you are wanting to create something. That if it's through desperation or through, you have to do it, like you're saying, what would you do if you didn't have to earn money through your business, through your ideas? And you would approach it very differently. And
you would.
It's more just about giving and sharing what you have.
Yeah, and also congruency is important, like being who you say you are and doing what you say you're going to do.
Authenticity.
So, authenticity. For me, congruency is like the key to personal brand, everything. If you are living and breathing what you are talking about, I think, one, it's much easier to talk about it because you don't mumble your words, you don't get imposter syndrome, you just know, like, I'm me.
Yep.
But 2, you have a confidence in what you're talking about. And 3, I think you just got this energy that comes across, people just sense it. It's, and I might not have believed that a few years ago, but I've had so many people say, I just feel like I feel like you get me, or I get you, or there's this kind of energy. And we've had those types of conversations. Mm-hmm. It's like, there must be, it must be there. It must be a real thing. And that is just congruency. So one of the things I was talking about earlier is people try to pretend they're someone they're not, particularly on social. And I said, like, imagine you got a camera on you all the time. Is there any parts of it you wouldn't want to show on social media? Because if you don't, if you want to hide any of that stuff, it's usually something that you're trying to hide from the world because you're not loving it in yourself, right? You're not happy with that. Yeah. So you can start there. If you think, how can I really be authentic? Ask yourself that question, and you'll pinpoint the thing that's stopping you from being truly authentic.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. That's a really good tip for all the listeners to think of it that way. Because, we look at social media, we scroll social media, and everything appears to be roses and glammed, and behind the scenes, it all looks very different. And I think, and I know this from the algorithm now as well, the more you show up authentically, unedited, just genuinely you, without filters, the more the algorithm is going to push that out. That's my feeling, that it's changed now. It's going more in that direction. Right. Less edited videos, none of these flashy reels, but
especially with AI as well. We're going to be really tuned into how people are saying things, how their eyes are moving.
Are they real?
How they're,
Are they genuine?
You need to cut all of those filters now.
Yeah, and it is hard sometimes to tell the difference. The new stuff that's coming
daily.
out.
Daily it's becoming less obvious.
So you have a YouTube channel as well. So let's just talk about all the platforms that you're on.
Great.
You've got a podcast, you're an author, published author, book is coming out very soon. We're going to talk about that. And YouTube channel, did I say podcast, YouTube channel, author, and you're a public speaker.
Accidentally, I guess.
What do you say accidentally then?
Well, I mean, you start putting yourself out online and you start kind of being seen to have an authority in a certain area of expertise. People find you and they crawl in through the doors and lower themselves in through the ceilings, and they want you on their stage. And I've been very fortunate over the last few years to meet some amazing people, and speak on the stages and share things that they feel that their audience will get value from. So it kind of just snowballed, really. And then the YouTube thing was a big business and social media talk that triggered last year. So that's become very popular. That's why I spoke at
on how you grew your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
How did you grow your YouTube channel? And when did you start?
So I started 8 years ago, and my first video took 4 hours to record, and it was a 4-minute video, and it was absolutely horrific. And
which is good for everybody listening, that you don't start perfect.
Oh, it was horrific. I was an engineer, and I'd never spoke to a camera in my life, and I put publicly out that video as well of me trying to record. So you can go and watch that somewhere. And talking about congruency, actually, you know, halfway through that video, I'm looking at the camera going, you know, I'm never going to get this. And my son, who's sitting next to me, he must be like 5, he says, all I know is you should never give up. And it is like,
oh, wow.
You know, and
taught well.
Yeah, well, it's that congruency thing, you know, I do what I say I'm going to do. I tell my kids what I believe, and you know, I think that come across there. And
what was it that made it feel difficult? Why did it take you so long?
Now this is normal, right? But putting a softbox light in your face with a camera was not. It was the most unnatural thing. I remember it feeling so weird. Now it's like it's everywhere and it's normal for me. But yeah, it was the most odd feeling, and
the brain starts to go.
You're just trying to, you're trying to.
Your thoughts go. You can't. Your words don't come out. The thing is
sweating profusely. Yes. I just remember my armpits like sweating, and my shirt having to change my shirt because it's like I was getting so hot and frustrated. And it was horrific. But at least when I did the second time, it was a little bit easier.
Okay.
You know, and then the next time is a little bit easier, and it just gets easier because and I mean, now I'm just off the cuff talking in front of a camera. This was not me. I'm not a natural speaker.
But that's where consistency and showing up and allowing yourself, it's practice. And I think so many people, they want to wait until they're perfect before they'll put themselves out there, which will never happen.
Yeah, it's an absolute fantasy. So I started and I persevered, and people were commenting and saying, this is great, please could you do another one? And that kind of got me to do another one and another one and another one. The advantage that I've had with YouTube, what I believe the advantage is over most YouTubers, is that I am an analyst, right? Mm-hmm. So I am a technical analyst. I'm a trader. I'm an investor. Yep. I've analyzed data since I was 22. When I saw the analytics of YouTube, it was very obvious to me where the trends were, what was happening, what worked, what didn't work, and most importantly, what didn't work. So I spent 8 years going from 0 to about 50,000 subscribers. Mm-hmm. And then when I collated that data and reviewed the analytics and saw what doesn't work, I then did what did work, and within a year, I'd hit almost 500,000.
Wow.
So I think Mr. Beast said this on a recent channel as well. He said, I could start a channel next week, and be at 40 million faceless because we just know what works. I get that. He's a data guy. I'm a data guy. And it's so obvious to me what works and what doesn't work now. So instead of spending 8 years, you could do it today and still have great results.
So what are some key tips that you can give us?
Key tips. So that one video, the first video that triggered all this, was the first video that I did the thumbnail first for. Mm-hmm. So how many people, they do the video, all the work goes into the video, and like, I've got to do a thumbnail, just quickly do a thumbnail, because you just want to get the thing out. That was my approach for a long time. This was the first video that 6 months before I even did the video, I came up with the concept of this thumbnail.
6 months?
Yeah.
Okay.
So for me, it was the For Dummies series, mm-hmm. The Excel for Dummies and all those books, the books.
Yeah, For Dummies.
So it was that kind of look, and I just came up with this For Dummies thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Seems obvious, but I was like, oh yeah, tutorial for dummies, right? So great. The concept was I want to give everything away for free. So I sat there and almost meditated on how could I create a video where no one will have any questions after? Mm-hmm. How can they not need me at all at the end of this video? So spent about 2.5 weeks mapping out everything that I knew for this particular topic, and just had this big, massive whiteboard full of, a breakdown of this video. I wanted it to feel like they were getting a program or a course.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It sounds like you're giving them a full course.
I wanted the perceived value to be higher than we're just watching a YouTube video. Yep. Right? So it was a program. It was a 2.5 hour program, immersive program with a great thumbnail. And then I thought, well, what is YouTube favoring here? What the YouTube are favoring is they want confidence. Because I see YouTube as someone who works for me. I'm a creator, and they've got to put someone's typing into a search bar, and they just want confidence to connect the creator with the right search, right? Mm-hmm. Just same as Google. So when you look at it that way, I looked at what YouTube were favoring, and they just want confidence in the creator. So what gives confidence? Well, clicking on a thumbnail that delivers what they expect, to someone who's influential enough to command an instruction and the user actually does it.
Yeah.
So I open the video with something along the lines of, this is going to be a full comprehensive program. You're going to want to watch it more than once. It's 2.5 hours long, right? So if you've got YouTube Premium, make sure you download this because you can watch it on your flights.
Okay.
You know, if you are, I'm going to go through everything, so you're going to want to watch it twice. So make sure you save it to watch later because you're going to need to watch this more than once to grasp this.
That's good.
Right? So what people are doing is they're going, that makes sense. Yes, it's not just some guy going, hit the subscribe button and download. You know, it's not that. It's there's more context to it, so that it makes sense. So they're like, right, I'll do that.
And from the very beginning, you're instructing them on what you want them to do.
Exactly. Then I say, this is a program, and we're building a community. So introduce yourself in the comments and let me know where you're watching from. So it's not like give a like or give a thumbs up. It's like, let me talk to you in the comments. This is where we're going to converse about this program, and this community is all going to congregate here. We're not going anywhere else. So there was that. And then there was a series of other things, like I created a workbook for the video so that they could print the workbook. But again, that's an instruction to them to click something in the description. So YouTube are going, this creator is able to command an instruction and he's so influential that the people are actually doing it. Therefore, I've got confidence to put our clients' ads on his channel because they're going to trust this guy, right?
It's not detrimental that you're going to be taking them away from YouTube because the link is in the description and it's not within your video, right?
Well, the link for the workbook and things like that, so that'll open in a new tab, right? So they stay on the video, and that's free, not behind an email wall or anything, right? So you give them the workbook. Then later in the video, about 50% of the way through the video, 50 to 100%, I created a template. And by this time, they've spent so much time with me. They just trust, whatever I'm doing, right? So I say, I'm going to build a template for this. You can do the same on Excel. This is how I do it, or you can just download my one if you want. And that template is behind an email wall.
Right.
Okay. So at that point, you're starting to understand that there's really, interested people downloading your stuff, and now you can start communicating with them and all the rest of it. So there's that as well. And all of these this concoction of just algorithmic candy was just right place, right time, and it just went nuts. But the interesting thing was we posted the video in January, and by May it had about 10,000 views, and that's good. But I thought it'd do a bit more because I had videos that had done a few more than that. And I came over here in May, and I was sat in the marina in a pool, and I got my phone to take a photo of myself and a couple of friends, and all these subscribers, it was 1,000 subscribers. And then another hour went by, it was another 1,000 subscribers, and the video was going 10,000 views, 20,000 views, 50,000 views in an hour. And I was like, wow, what's happening there?
Changed,
So YouTube have a period of time where they're monitoring and gaining confidence in your video, right?
Okay.
So it's like, what is the success rate of us suggesting this video to the person that types this in the search bar and them actually staying on the video instead of clicking off? So I don't know if you're familiar with how Google works, but they look at it like, if you type something into Google and you go away and then come back, we've failed. We don't want you to ever come back to the website, because once you've searched, you have to find the search. Otherwise, our search engine's rubbish. We're not doing the search properly. We're not giving you what you want. Yeah. So YouTube's exactly the same way. So if people type in what they need and then they only type it once because they've found what they need from one video, that gives them the confidence to say, this is a good creator, right? The next thing is the retention rate of the video. Well, it's 2.5 hours. So they're going to spend a long time with me, right? Because it's like, it moves, the way that it's structured, it moves fast. I cover everything quickly so that they have to watch it again. Okay. So I cover it comprehensively and thoroughly, but it's quickly.
Yeah. Or they have to go back to watch something again.
Exactly.
Because I've had videos like that recently where I was trying to do some N8N AI stuff.
Yeah.
And it's so quick, as you say, that you've got to go back and you've got to watch it again. How do you do that? Got to watch it again so that you can emulate it. And I thought to myself, this has got to be great for the YouTube algorithm. And for the algorithm, exactly.
For sure.
Yeah.
So there's that piece of it as well. And then what else was there? There was the call to action at the end was just a very gentle, like, you don't need anything now, but I get that it's all about implementation. Information you can find anywhere. If there are any people that still need anything, you can join this 30-day challenge, which is like a 300 quid thing, and they get even more value, and they get a video a day for 30. So we start building this mass, YouTube are promoting the video because they're loving it. They're getting lots of people commenting and doing all the things on the video, and then they go into this funnel. So that was all great. And then what happened was I said, who wants a part 2? Did I miss anything? What else would you like to learn? And I pinned that comment to the top of that video. Now millions of people start watching this, and that comment is getting like thousands and thousands of comments and engagement, right?
You got to keep up with all of that.
Yeah, right. But also it's giving me insights into what to create next. True. So I did a part 2 and covered off the whole series, and now they're going part 1, part 2. Part 2 is an hour and 40 minutes. So now they're spending like three hours, right? So the whole, like, the big learning on this is content is just about getting people to spend a long time with you.
Yes.
And they'll buy it. They'll buy whatever you're selling. The more you put out and give everything away for free, the more they'll pay to work with you.
That's great advice, yeah.
For sure. And I've witnessed it firsthand.
Because I think we try to hold ourselves back or behind an email wall with the webinars, and then you don't want to give everything away because you feel that, if you give too much, then they already have what they need, or they think they have what they need. But then when they go away and they try to do it, they don't actually have enough. And then they get frustrated and they're annoyed with you, as opposed to being, And you're bombarding them with emails every day when they never even really got what they wanted. So then the trust in you will diminish as opposed to increasing. Yeah.
Exactly. So if you look at the description of that video, you'll see step 1. Oh, and when we did launch the video, we launched it to my email list, but we said this, I'm not sure this is a good idea, this video. We may unlist it. So when it goes live, make sure you do this step, this step, this step, this step, this step.
Very good.
And you'll get access to it forever if it becomes unlisted again. I thought in my head, I probably won't ever unlist the video, but hey ho, everyone's going to do it. They get FOMO. Yeah. And they did it. So they start the snowball rolling of all those instructions. And the instructions were, save it to watch later, download the video if you're on premium, get this, get that, introduce yourself in the comments. You have to do all those, otherwise you'll lose the video.
Okay,
right? So now it's like, it starts the ball rolling. And then when it goes live, everyone sees all that and they want to fit in. So they're like, oh, I better comment. I better, introduce myself.
That's again the FOMO.
And it was just great. It was just amazing to witness, to be honest with you.
Now, I've just started a whole new channel. I've got 2 YouTube channels. One's been going along for a while, but also it's just going along, gets a few new followers every month. But so these are really great tactics for me as well. But I started a brand new channel too. And it's nice to hear that it can take some time before the algorithm kicks in or YouTube believes you as trustworthy to pump that out further.
Can I tell you one of the biggest tips that I found with analysing all of this? And this would be great for your listeners if they've got YouTube channels. You can create playlists on YouTube.
Yeah.
If you click on your playlist, if you look in the URL at the top of the screen, there'll be halfway along, there'll be an and sign. That and everything to the right. If you copy that and then add that to the end of any video you're sharing, it will take them to the video, but it will display your playlist on the screen, right? So this is insane for retention. This is a game changer for my channel.
That's golden nugget.
So let's just say I come on this podcast.
Make a note.
And I share your podcast and I tag you in it. Of course, you're going to reshare it, right?
Yeah.
But everyone that clicks the link will go to the video, but you can control what they see next.
Yeah.
So your playlist is there, right? So they're like, well, that was a great interview. Where can I find more of this guy? Oh, look, there's the whole playlist of this guy. So
amazing.
It increases subscriber rate and retention.
That's a golden nugget from today's session for sure, along with many, many more. Yeah. So when you started your podcast,
Did you implement similar strategies to get that off the ground and make it fly from the very first episode?
When I started the podcast, I just did it methodically so that, one, I wanted to introduce myself on episode 1, just to get rid of anyone who may not want to listen to me, and really lock in the people that were interested. Step 2, give an in-order set of strategies that made sense in order for the first 5 or 6 episodes. So don't do this without doing this. So I went through step by step, almost like the newsletter. And then on every single episode, if you go back, if you even listen to my most recent one, what I do at the beginning is I say, if this is the first time you're listening, make sure you go back to episode 1 and start there.
I've heard that.
Right. Yeah. So it creates this loop effect.
I've never heard that on a podcast before, that somebody says, go back to my very first episode.
Right.
Which could be 400 episodes back or something. But
Well, I think I'm on 200, but I still say it. So, and it creates this loop effect because they're like, oh, wow, I better listen to that. Yeah. And again, you give them reason. So it's like, go back to episode 1, start there, because the first 10 episodes of this, you'll get the most from in order, because it's a strategy to get what you want,
right.
So it's like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I'll go and listen to it. So that created an amazing snowball effect with the podcast as well.
Yeah, I've listened to some of your episodes, and I'm looking forward to listening to more. I think you're now on my saved playlist.
Oh, amazing.
So
Thank
getting
you.
more of yours, and be happy to share that out, because, to everybody who's listening, if you're interested in establishing yourself with financial freedom and freedom in life, you got to listen to this podcast.
Thank you.
And your book. So tell us about the book.
Yeah. So the book has been 7 years in the making, and it's like, as I said at the beginning of this podcast, people think they want to be rich. And although financial freedom is an important element to your overall freedom, people just want to be free. So this book covers everything on how to be who you want to be, do what you want to do, wherever you want, with who you want, and have enough money to come in to pay for the experiences you truly need in life, and be always free. And that is out on the 24th of July.
Sounds like a very valuable read that everybody should get their hands on. Always free. Awesome. Jason, what's next for you?
What's next for me? Just talking about, trying to get this message out that I truly believe that when we're free and able to focus on our most meaningful work, we become better humans. We become more of a voice of reason, someone who's calm, caring, poised. We just create better things. And I think it's important to not have people on pedestals and try and be someone who you're not, understanding when enough is enough for you and building a life around that so that you can be content and live every day happy. And I think if everyone understood that, the world would be a much happier place.
And it sounds so true, because there's a huge difference between where somebody is going to feel that they are financially free compared with where the next person's going to feel that they're financially free. Exactly. And here in Dubai, it's so easy to compare all the time.
It's here where I met so many rich people who are unhappy.
Yeah.
So again, that's one piece of the puzzle. If you need mental freedom, mobility freedom, and financial freedom, but they're all relative to your own personal experience on this planet.
I wanted to just talk a little bit, if we still have some time, about just in general, the population. How many people do you feel are stuck without any financial freedom? I mean, would you put a percentage on it?
Yeah, I mean, we've surveyed 80,000 people since 2019, and 69% of the people don't feel that they're being paid their worth. 70% of people don't enjoy what they do. It blows my mind. Something like 82%, I can't remember the stats, but they're on my social media. 82% of people feel like they don't have enough to show for their labour at the end of the month. So it indicates that there's a real pandemic of something's awry, and it's not always cost of living crisis. I think people throw that one away too quickly.
Yeah.
How you spend your money is a choice.
True.
And there are strategies that you can use to make sure that they're in check with your values and how aligned you are with that. And that will make you feel happier. That will make you feel more free. The pandemic was a great time when, not a great time, but it was a great experience in that people, first of all, they were locked in their house, right? So when the pandemic hit, we were less free. We were trapped in our house, but everyone felt freer. And the reason they felt freer is because they could day how they like.
Yes.
No one watching over their shoulder. They had passive income in the form of furlough checks or bounce back loans. They had this money coming in some way or another without having to go out to work. And they reduced their lifestyle expenses because there was no one to show off to. There was no keeping up with the Joneses then. They got rid of the extra car. They didn't go to the Gucci's and all that kind of stuff, right? So they really, truly were living what it's like as someone building financial freedom or someone who is financially free. And that taste, I think, opened a lot of people's eyes.
I think so too.
And that's really what it's about. It's building that, but in a sustainable and
that was for me a pivotal moment. That's when I met John Pempathy as well, just before all of that happened. And I was working, one-to-one coaching, in-person coaching with a ceiling on my income, stuck with every hour of my time was what I could charge for that hour. And I knew there was something else that I wanted. I didn't know how to achieve it. And it was through the pandemic that I was almost thrown into it, forced into finding something new, looking for help, coaching, mentorship, education to teach me how I could achieve that. And then, ever since then, it's been no turning back. So,
amazing.
Yeah. So I think, everything in life is a choice. You've said that, right?
Yeah.
And it's how you manage and how you react to situations.
Everything in life's a choice. I see it as like lines, basically. You make all these decisions and you're here. You might have thought you would end up here, right? Why aren't you here? Well, it's because you've made decisions and taken actions that aren't aligned with who you truly are. That's it. So to get back to who you truly are, you need to start unpacking what you're living up to, who you're looking up to, what you're subordinating to, what actions are you doing that aren't truly yours. Because the whole time you've got a goal that isn't yours, you're never free. You're not free. You're a slave to that goal.
I would agree with that, yeah.
Always Free is about not having any of that.
So we'll find all of this in the book when it comes out on July 24th. And where we'll be able to get it
on Amazon.
On Amazon. It'll be on Amazon. Also as a hard copy. Yep. So there you go. Go and get this book, July 24th. It'll be around aligned with, the time this podcast is coming out, this book is going to be available. So,
amazing.
So make sure you get a copy. Jason, it's been amazing having you on the show. Thank you so much.
You.
Other than your book and your YouTube channel, I'll put all the links into the show notes to where people can go and binge listen to all of your content and get to know you better.
I appreciate that.
That Instagram handle...
Yeah, it's J_Graystone.
Okay.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of fake accounts of me, so just beware.
Okay.
Yeah. But jasongraystone.com or alwaysfree.com, you'll find the right channels.
Great. Well, fantastic having you on the show. Thank you
Thanks
for sharing so many wisdoms and golden nuggets and insights for us all.
Oh, thank you very much.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Impact Through Voice podcast. Now, if you've reached the end of this episode, then it means you're enjoying the podcast. So I have a quick favor to ask. If you haven't yet subscribed, please go and do it now and even leave us a review, because it really does help us so much to reach more people and impact more people. And I would be very, very grateful. Now, I love to read all of your comments about the show and what you're enjoying, what you would like to hear more of. So please take the time and go and do that now. When you do that, please take a screenshot and then tag me on Facebook or Instagram. That's Lisa Hugo Official. Now, I'm going to be sure to share your post, and I'm also going to private DM you with a thank you. And it also means you won't miss an episode. And as a subscriber, then you're going to get access to more content that we don't even open up to everybody. So thanks again. And until next time, keep on working towards your goals and making a positive impact on the world with your voice.